All of a sudden, I was in this editing suite here doing something, and I get like a chat from Teresa, who's in the front of the office, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Ah! You can hear her screaming through text. So I run out, and then there it is. In the interior of our office is about a 4-foot snake skin underneath the shelves.
I think that might be a little bigger than 4.
You think? Well, but
it's big.
Where's the snake, Daniel? That's the bugging
worst.
all of us.
Is the worst thing to find a snake, or is the worst thing to find a snake skin?
Oh, that's a great question, man.
Because if you find the snake, it's a little freaky, but at least it's right there.
Yeah.
Now what do you do with it?
You
find the snake skin, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's way worse. Well, howdy, folks. You're listening to the Daytripper Podcast. It's August. I'm Chet. None of those things have changed. Daniel's over here.
Whoa.
And you are our faithful viewers. So thanks for tuning in wherever you're watching on YouTube or through a podcast app. Remember, subscribe to it, like it, leave us a review, do all those things. It really helps. We got some Texas to talk. Texas, as always, has been pretty entertaining the past couple months, specifically this past month. But let's talk first off the jump. We have a sponsor for this episode. So August, we're going back to La Escuela. Daniel, do you hablo the Espanol?
I think you know for a fact my Espanol does not hablo very well.
That's right. All right. So, but we are all going back to school. A lot of kids going back to school. Did you know that the very first prototype for bilingual school in the country was created by Dr. Maria Luisa Vega in Collin County?
Really?
Collin County, McKinney. So this is cool. So she realized the children of the Mexican migrant workers were not learning academic Spanish at home, and they weren't learning English well enough to go to school. So there was a gap. Gap.
Sure.
So she needed to teach them how to speak Spanish properly, like we learn how to speak English, but also needed to get an education. So it's created this bilingual model that has still stuck around to this day.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Last month we talked about the guy who voiced Pinocchio was from Collin County. So Collin County History Museum in McKinney has a new exhibit that they've rolled out called Created in Collin County. It celebrates all the cool people, athletes, products, businesses, and innovation that happened in Collin County. So we featured it on our McKinney episode. You can watch that on YouTube. It's a great museum. It is free on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. Contact them. They'll do group tours, private tours, events, all kinds of stuff. If you want to learn about history and all the cool people from Collin County, go to CollinCountyHistoryMuseum.com. McKinney is fun. That's not part of the web address. That's just the big
That's just a fact.
Exclamation there at the end. Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
Hashtag fact. No, McKinney, great episode. Like I mentioned, it's on our YouTube. All right, so we've got something going on right now. If you listen to the podcast regularly, you saw us last month. We dropped the new Viewers' Choice contest. It's going wild. Things are going crazy.
Yeah, if I sit there on the page, I actually see the votes come in. There's a new vote probably every 10 to 30 seconds.
It's crazy.
It just refreshes, and you're like, really?
So we started with 16 teams, and these are all teams, towns.
Teams.
It feels like teams. It's like a March Madness bracket. So there were 16 towns.
Sure.
I picked them because I knew all of them would make great episodes, but I wanted to know what the viewers wanted, where they wanted us to go.
Absolutely.
So we are down to our final 4 right now. And so if you want to vote, go to thedaytripper.com. But these towns, even from the jump, like we were on the news, they were making videos.
We see that every year. It still kind of shocks me. I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like people really get into it.
Whatever. Denison could be featured on Daytripper. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's funny. Which it's great. I mean, we love what we do. The towns are excited when we go. Sometimes we show up and they have no idea who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. It's just kind of
I don't show up expecting they're going to know who we are.
Right.
But I often show up and people do know who we are. Mm-hmm. But it's always cool to see. Like there's just such a wide range.
It's still that they're that excited to have us come
every time. Yeah.
Which, like one of the most common questions I get is, Chet, when are you going to run out of cities? And like we got 16 in this tournament that we have not featured. And there's, more on top of that.
Every one of these could be an episode.
Yes.
Easy. That's why we picked them as options.
Yeah. So we're not even close to running out of cities.
No.
Not even close. I was looking back at our last Viewers' Choice winners. Can you name them? I'm putting you on the spot.
The last Viewers' Choice winners, I mean, we had Hillsboro.
Hillsboro was one of them.
We had Victoria.
That was another one.
We've had...
Red Tacos.
Oh,
world's smallest skyscraper.
Oh, I know.
Wichita Falls.
Wichita Falls.
And then Tomball and Georgetown. Georgetown was the very first one.
That was the first, yeah.
And you know what? Like, just look at the past winners. It hasn't necessarily been the most sort of like sexy town to visit.
Like a metroplex.
Yeah, place. Yeah. A lot of these are places that, people didn't know about. And so there was some intrigue. They wanted to see a city that they didn't know about. But more than that, it was the locals in those towns, going around beating on doors, shaking the trees, making sure every vote came off.
I see a lot of comments where people was like, oh, up against San Antonio. I mean, sure, San Antonio's going to win. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
If anything, it's kind of like the big towns have a little bit of a disadvantage at times because it's so obvious, like, oh, it's big, and then people don't vote.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, look at the politics right now. I mean, people are like, oh, this person's going to win. I'm not even going to go vote. Yeah, big mistake.
Bing. Yeah.
Always vote. Always vote.
But you're right. Like, and then, there is something like people love small towns, and so people like a city like San Antonio, they go, I know everything about San Antonio. I don't want to see that. Yeah, and so the small towns, the underdogs, who knows? We'll see. True. It's down to our final four. If you don't know who it is, I'm going to leave that out there lingering. You got to go to our website, thedaytripper.com, or just search our social media. It's all over there. There's a Google form set up. You can vote once per day. And very soon, we're going to have the final.
Yeah, we will.
Final. Yeah. The final game.
It's the final countdown. I don't want to hear.
All right, we can keep going that for a while. All right. So, man, July came by in a blitz. What were you up to, man?
Oh, man. Well, everybody knows now what I've been waiting for. It's been topic of conversation for like 10 months or I can't remember how long.
Daniel as a pirate on the great open seas with his family on a Royal Caribbean cruise.
I'll tell you what.
How was it?
There were times where I wish a pirate would have showed up and took me away.
Was it too long?
No. Okay, so I've learned a few things about cruises.
Okay. Fill people in. I'm sure we have some cruise nuts out there.
First of all, I've never been on a cruise.
Yeah.
I will say cruises are amazing.
Okay.
I do love cruising.
That's his thing.
The drink packages are amazing. If you get a drink package, you don't have to think about it. Just, I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
What's not amazing? I love that our family had a vacation together. This is probably the biggest vacation that we've taken as a family, just because, I mean, we're always out on the road doing stuff.
Yeah.
Day trips are easy for us.
Oh, totally.
Go out on a weekend, do a day trip here and there.
Yeah.
But taking 8 days...
You were on the water for 8 days?
We came back on the 8th day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And so a lot of those, I mean, I hadn't cruised since high school. And so, like, if I remember right, like, you got to sleep on the ocean, like, and you arrive at port when the sun comes up.
Yeah, sometimes it's
you're magically in Cozumel.
New spot.
Or whatever.
So here's what made it difficult. We had our children with us.
Yeah.
That was already a little bit.
We love those little rats, but they have.
So I guess I didn't know in the beginning that it's kind of like it's the same price per person regardless of the rooms that you're in. There's just a minimum amount of people that have to be in a room.
Oh, okay.
We didn't really realize that, and so we got one big room.
Oh, okay.
Wah, wah. So I mean, we had 5 people all packed into one.
And these things are like not really rooms; they're glorified closets, right?
They are, except we found this awesome room. It's called an ultra spacious ocean view.
Oh, sounds fancy.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
Right. So like it was actually huge. It was probably twice as big as anybody else in the families, that were with us. Didn't have a balcony, but it didn't need it. It had 2 massive portholes. It was great. It was also in the front of the ship, which means you could feel everything.
Oh.
So Jordan did get a little bit seasick on the first day, but then we all got used to it. The biggest thing, though, is like it was big enough for the whole family, but do you want your whole family all together in a room? I don't know. It's like we're always together. Maybe it would have been nice if we had like adjoined rooms and we close the door.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
You know,
y'all are asleep. Well, whatever. We can do whatever adults do over here.
Whatever. Yeah. Exactly. So there was no whatever. It was Alex over here laughing. No, I mean it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. I think the girls told me like it was great. I think next time we'd rather just like go to wherever the destination is, fly there or whatever,
rather than cruise. Well, the cruise is like, I mean, aren't there people who, the boat's docked in Cozumel, but they don't even get off the boat?
Yeah,
right? Like,
and I didn't so we got off
city.
It is a mobile city. Like, take a massive skyscraper in like New York and then put it on its side.
This thing's crazy.
Like it doesn't make sense. You look at it and you're like, how is it this big? And there were plenty of times where we'd be on one side and we go, okay, it's right here. Oh, dang it, we're on the wrong side of the ship.
Oh, okay.
And we would have to walk like 10, 15 minutes to get to the other side.
Dang.
It's that big. That big.
So did you do like the midnight chocolate buffet? Yeah, there's all these things on cruise ships you think about. Like,
I think we did just about everything that you could do. There's a place that I think it was called Serrano's Pizza.
Okay.
They're open till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So like normally where you might be like wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I think I want to grab something from the fridge. I'm going to go over and get some pizzas. What I'm going to do. And you go and there's still like hundreds of people out just like partying. And
the city that never sleeps.
It was definitely like that.
Oh man,
it was definitely like that. It was actually.
Are you going on another one?
I was gonna say.
Are you going on another one? That's the thing.
Afterwards, the question was, did we not like it because it was just not what we expected, or was it like we could change some things and make this better? And I think we decided we're going to change some things, make it better. Okay. We've already booked the next one. We already booked it. So like, it's not fully paid for yet, but you have to reserve these things in advance.
Okay.
And so next year, just my wife and myself.
Hey.
We got a nice room.
Cruise of romance. The love boat, finally.
We're going to be on the Eastern Caribbean this time. So Bahamas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, do those leave out of Galveston?
They do not. We're gonna have to fly to Miami.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like a lot of stuff where it's just like, hey, let's try it, and now we're looking at going, dang it, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Where are the kids gonna be? But
see, they got you in that halo effect, right? Didn't you? You're like, do they book as soon as you're getting off the boat? Like,
there's a place called Next Cruise, and they tell you like, oh, you can get a discount.
Sure,
whatever.
It'll never be this low.
Gosh. Yeah, and then they're talking about point system, and I mean, it is just like they suck you in.
Well, that's like there are people, that's all they want to do, right? They just cruise, and they get off one cruise, go on the next one. My kids are like enamored with this idea. We did not put it in their heads, but like next summer, they want to take a cruise.
Okay.
I mean, we'll leave out of Galveston. I hadn't even looked into it much.
There's great options right out of Galveston. That's what's so cool. Galveston is one of the biggest port cities definitely in the country, if not the world. And there's lots of great things.
Go Texas.
You could do. Man, yeah, Texas is great. Texas is great.
Now, can you get to the Eastern Caribbean on those? Or are they mostly like
I don't know
Mexico, Cozumel?
Yeah, it's mostly Western Caribbean. Okay. You might be able to, but I don't think so.
Like 27-day cruise on the boat.
I know, right? There's just so many options, though, of things that you can do.
All right, are you going to do the Alaska cruise thing as a young man?
Would be cool. I would love to do that.
I feel like I want to do it, but I feel like I got to wait a couple decades before I do the Alaska cruise.
You think?
I'm getting older every day, but like, I don't know. It seems like an old people thing. Let's look at the glaciers, honey. And
okay, well, here's the thing. Like, you don't take your kids on those.
Okay, sure.
And if you like to do the day trip type thing where it's like, oh, just my wife and I, we'd love to get away and have like a chill vacation.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, it's awesome. Okay. And that's what I'm realizing. It's like, there's tons of stuff to do on these big ships. You don't have to do them all.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's lots of things where it's like, oh, that might be fun to have that as an option. We'll see when we get there. You may just be like, I just want to sit in a hammock and do nothing.
Okay.
And I don't know. You kind of just like let it play out, see how it goes.
All right.
But when you have kids, you don't have an option.
Yeah.
Like the kids are gonna be like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And we kept telling our kids, we're like, y'all are old enough. Go do it. Just go. Just go. They're like, no, you got to go with us. No.
I
don't want to. I don't want to do that. You want to do the zip line? You go do the zip line.
The one rule: don't jump off the boat. That's it.
That's what I said. And as soon as I said that to them, they were instantly like, "Wait, what? We can go off the boat?" And I was like, "You're not going to fall off the boat. Fall off the boat?" I'm like, "No, I'm saying you won't."
Yeah,
and
but
so suddenly they're like freaking out.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, that's funny.
But all in all, great trip. Awesome family vacation.
And you already signed up for the next one. He's on the cruise spiral, folks.
We are. We're already gold members with Royal Caribbean, so I don't know what to tell you about that. That just kind of happened.
Kevin, yeah. Hey, Royal Caribbean, if you want to sponsor a podcast, I know of one. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, so you booked your cruise, what, 6 months in advance?
For this next one?
No. This one you just got off of.
No, that one was almost a year.
A year in advance.
Yeah.
So this is maybe the difference between us and planning vacations. We were going to be gone from the office the same week. I got to a week and a half before we were leaving the office. I hadn't planned crap. I hadn't planned anything.
Yeah.
And all the things I thought I was going to do.
I remember asking, you're like, I don't know.
They fell through. It was like, I didn't get our kids' passports, whatever. I didn't have, we go to South Padre, whatever. It was all booked. Like, dang it. Let's just go to Hawaii. So late one night on a Wednesday night, I went and just booked everything to Hawaii. So we went to Hawaii. It was awesome. Took the kids to Maui. And that, I think I could stay in Hawaii a whole summer, months, maybe a year.
I haven't gone yet, but everything I've seen and heard about it from people.
Gosh, we stayed in this Western resort right off, just walking the beach, and you have these incredible coral reefs. Sea turtles just chilling everywhere.
It's amazing.
It was awesome. Ate pineapple every day. Made our kids eat pineapple every day. Best pineapple in the world. Best. Well, when you eat a Fredericksburg peach and you're like, this is the. Oh, yeah. When you're like, you pick it off the vine, you're like, the peach does not get better. That's pineapple. I think they pick them wherever pineapples get shipped to Texas. They got to pick them weeks before they're ripe, and then put them on boats and ship them here.
Did you do the Dole pineapple excursion?
So the pineapple excursion was expensive, and I think that's another old people thing that I'll do someday.
It might be.
I was like, our kids can't sit on a tram and learn about pineapples for 2 hours. Maybe they're going to cash out quick. So we just
the older kids
everywhere.
Maybe, but yeah, when you've got younger kids, your youngest and my youngest, you have to make sure they're entertained.
That's true.
It's a little bit harder to do some slow stuff.
You've got a big gap between kids, so there's stuff the big ones can do that the little ones can't, and vice versa. So it's a bit of a thing. Laura and I always make the distinction: there's vacations and then there's trips, and there's a big difference between the two.
Well, how do you describe vacation versus trip?
Vacation is that's relaxing. No responsibilities or minimal responsibilities.
That's a cruise to Alaska.
Yeah, maybe. Probably just Laura and I getting away and just really chilling.
Okay.
You can't do that with kids. So that's a trip. You're not going on vacation. You're going on a trip because kids, they got desires and they will eat this, but they won't eat this. They want to do this and they don't want to do this, and they're never on the same schedule. And so we're getting better at not coming back exhausted, but in the beginning, it's what did we even do? I'm tireder than when I left. So Laura and I just have to have pep talks with each other before. Look, I look her in the eye. I'm like, honey, all right, we're going into the trenches. This is gonna get real quick. It's an 8-hour flight with 5 children, and we can't all sit together.
Oh my gosh!
So we're going down together
on 3.
On 3, yes, we have those 1, 2, 3, and so then you go in with the right mindset that this is gonna suck. But eventually we'll get to Hawaii, and there'll be something good somewhere in there, and then it'll suck again. But then it'll be good. Then, so we
were in denial. That's what we needed.
Yeah, you needed that.
We were in denial because I was even this drink package is going to be amazing. Sit and do nothing. And Jordan's like, no, this is a trip. This is not a vacation.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just want to sit back and drink pina coladas. And she's like, but we got to watch the kids.
But your dad.
And I was like, you can watch the kids. She's like, I hate you.
Yeah,
not really.
Right. Yeah.
No, we try to find a balance, and it just doesn't always work.
Nah, you got to go with the right mindset.
You do.
And then
who's it for?
If you get a moment of nice quiet, you just but don't expect it.
Don't expect it, but when it comes, enjoy.
You soak that baby in because it's going to be gone the second it shows up.
Did you island hop?
No, not this one.
I've heard it's kind of hard because you got to get on a plane.
Yeah, it takes the flights are 10 minutes, but
it's
you got to
get 5 kids.
Yeah.
It's a little harder,
and they're cheap though. They're like island hopping on a plane. Alaska Air is like $40 a person, so it's not like that cost prohibitive. But it does take out part of the day because you got to get to the airport, check in, take the flight, then find the car or whatever's getting you away. So it's like even though literally you're in the air for 10 minutes, it takes out half the day. Because you got all the other stuff.
Speaking...
So we didn't do that.
Back to the cruise, just briefly, I've heard Hawaiian cruises can be good for that reason alone because you can kind of... It's like you've got your hotel that might be even cheaper that is on the water, and you're going to go island to island.
Dude,
so
you're going to sign up for that one as soon as you step off the boat.
Saying. Yeah.
Daniel, cruise man. Cruiser Dan.
Call me Tom Cruise. No, don't call me that. Dan Cruz. Dan Cruz. Oh, man.
Oh, that's good.
Last thing. Best food you had in Hawaii.
Ooh. Oh, man. We had... we went to Luau. Did the whole thing.
Yeah?
And, like, spinning fire people and hula dancers and all the stuff. And so it had a buffet. Okay. And they made some legit... like Kahlua pork. Kahlua, that's not right. Luau pork. Kahlua is a drink. I don't think it had the drink. But like pig in the ground thing at the Luau, that was the best bite I had. That pork meat. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
We didn't eat a whole lot of seafood. Oh, and the other thing, Hawaiian snow cones. Different in Hawaii. You can get Hawaiian shaved ice. Some places in Texas is different on the island.
The way they shave it?
Yes. I don't know what it is, Daniel. It's the salty air. It's like, it's just powder. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't taste like shaved ice.
Like
it just powder. Yeah, like a big ball of powder with juice on it. So that was one of the best things too. I'm like,
that's
gosh, why? Like there's good Hawaiian shaved ice, but it's different. It's just different. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you and your family got to get away and you didn't have to do like any major social media type stuff, all that. It was like a true trip.
Yeah, exactly. People asked me the next day, like when I got back, so what you been up to? I was in Hawaii. I didn't know you were in Hawaii. Good. I didn't see anything on social media. I was like, I didn't post anything.
Nope.
I didn't post anything. All right. So enough the cruising with Dan and Chet. Let's talk about Texas, Daniel.
While you've been listening to this podcast, lots of stuff's been going on in the Lone Star State. This is Meanwhile in Texas.
What did you find in the Lone Star State?
Oh, my gosh. So while we were gone, something popped up on my feed, and I was like, what the heck is this? So lady out in Harris County.
Okay.
I mean, we're
Houston
talking Houston.
Area.
Yeah. Comes back home from a vacation herself. Guess what's on her front porch?
An Amazon package.
You would think.
I don't know.
Not unless it's an Amazon package is an 8-foot alligator.
No. What?
I mean,
just chilling?
Just chilling. Like, we know these things are in East Texas, but Houston?
Yeah,
like
in a
suburb? This is like, she's in a subdivision. Just 8-foot alligator sitting on your porch. And I think it caught her, off guard just enough to where she's like, is this real? And it slapped her with its tail.
Oh.
And knocked her down. So, like, I think she's, like, standing there just like, I don't know. What? And it literally whoosh, slapped her.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, like, it was actually enough to where she's like, I got to go to the hospital to get checked out.
Oh, my God.
I don't think it was that bad, but it was definitely, like, it knocked her down.
Well, like, you wouldn't assume you're in a subdivision that this alligator's going to chill on your porch. Like,
no.
You would think, one, is that a joke? Two, is that real?
Because they'll be very still.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, nah.
Well, at least she got that into the alligator. It could have gotten a lot worse.
It could have.
Other end. And then you get knocked down. Your first thought is, this thing's going to eat me. It's just taking me down to eat.
She actually, I think she yelled for her husband to like run out and help her.
Mike,
and he thought... He thought that it was like an intruder or something. Like, oh
yeah.
He went and got his gun. And so he's coming out thinking there's a guy, and he's like, oh, there's an alligator. So they called Texas Parks and Wildlife. They come out, they capture the alligator and release it back to the wild. But it was just like this big ordeal where it's like, how does this happen?
God, don't feed the alligators,
it was
folks.
Roaring. I don't know.
Oh, they hiss.
We've heard them hiss. Yeah,
like,
he called it a roar.
Maybe alligators are evolving. Maybe they're becoming different.
Maybe
they're coming for our homes.
Maybe so.
And our Amazon packages. And they're just there to eat us. Oh man. So I've got another story. This is also an animal story. So a couple summers ago, our AC went out in the middle of the summer. That's is one of the worst things ever. So I call the AC repair guy. He comes out because I can do a little bit. Couldn't figure out what was wrong. He takes the cover off and all of a sudden hands me this super crispy scorpion. He's like, "Here it is." And I was like, "What?" A scorpion just crawled across the wrong part of my air conditioner, blinked my whole system out, and then got stuck, and it wouldn't run just because this crispy scorpion was there. And as soon as he took it out, came back on.
You've got to be kidding.
So that was just my house. But if you're a member of the Austin Energy, service region, a similar thing happened recently where 16,000 homes lost power, all because of a snake. So
a single snake.
A snake crawled into the transformer, I guess, and shut down energy for almost an hour for 16,000 homes in Austin.
Wow.
These critters, man, I don't know.
I mean, that's a pretty big problem to have. We live in Texas.
Yeah.
We have to have AC. We're forced to live with snakes everywhere.
They're everywhere.
I mean,
dude,
should one snake be able to knock out the power grid?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to make these a little more snake-proof.
Yeah, I would think.
You know what? This actually piggybacks into something else. I think we need to make our office a little more snake-proof, Daniel.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean...
So
Teresa's not happy with us right now.
Not happy at all. So yesterday,
Teresa, I know you're not happy.
We all of a sudden I was in this editing suite here doing something, and I get like a chat from Teresa who's in the front of the office, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my gosh!" You can hear her screaming through text. So I run out, and then there it is. In the interior of our office is about a 4-foot snake skin underneath the shelves.
I think that might be a little bigger than 4.
You think? Well, but
it's big.
Where's the snake, Daniel? That's what's bugging all of us.
Is the worst thing to find a snake, or is the worst thing to find a snake skin?
Oh, that's a great question, man.
Because if you find the snake, it's a little freaky, but at least it's right there.
Yeah.
Now what do you do with it?
You
find the snake skin, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, that's way worse. All right, yeah. I mean, it could be under your feet, under those cushions, under the desk. I mean, that is the freaky thing. It's almost better to find the snake. You deal with it. Yeah. Now we've got a ghost, literally.
Ghost snake.
Who lifts its skin around to taunt us, which makes matters even worse. Okay, it's not a venomous snake. It's probably a rat snake. But we got some emails from viewers that literally killed a rattlesnake right in front of our door here. This past December.
Sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, I saw a rattlesnake," blah blah blah, and you're like, "Okay, sure." They had a video.
He sent the video, and it's legit in front of our office, and he killed a rattlesnake.
And that's again, like, where does a rattlesnake? We're downtown Georgetown.
Was it chilling? It's going Mesquite Creek, having a beer with some Mikey V's tacos. Like that, we are not. I mean, this is an urban commercial district. Where the heck? Now we are. All these buildings were built in the 1800s. This is wood floor below us. And below that is dirt, and there's about a foot of crawl space. I mean, we could be sitting on top of the rattlesnake den. No one would ever find them.
I mean, as long as we got a floor between us, I'm okay with it.
Dude, I know.
If there's a hole at some point, I mean,
because think about it. They could eat all the dumpster food. There's plenty of, like, mice. If the dumpster's right out there, they'll be well-fed, fat, making babies. Nobody's running around.
I might have to start working from home a little more.
Yeah. Yeah, you should wear your snake boots at work.
Snake boots to work every day.
Snake boots and shorts.
So much for summer flip-flops.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So, sorry about that snake, Austin. And folks.
And Teresa.
Yeah, and Teresa. Y'all, come help us find the snake at the Daytripper World headquarters. We're pretty sure he's not in the store.
Yeah, come find that snake. Teresa will give you a big discount in the store.
Big discount. Probably something free. All right. Let's jump into the Texas Music Minute. So this is where we bring y'all a song, an artist from the Lone Star State. All right. So you know the phrase supergroup?
I do. It's whenever you've got like multiple well-known artists that collaborate together and make like their own band.
That's right. That's right. So
like
supergroup
who? Like
is a thing. Well, the biggest,
Highwaymen.
The Highwaymen. That's probably the biggest supergroup of all time.
Sure.
The Highwaymen was Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson.
Yes.
All these dudes were just monsters already on their own, and they came together to make an album, maybe two. Then, not far behind that, you have the Traveling Wilburys.
Okay.
They were Roy Orbison, Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, George Harrison, and a few more. But like that just gives you an idea. And I was thinking Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Temple of the Dog, Audio Slave. There's been some supergroups throughout time. Well, we have a new Texas supergroup.
Oh, a one?
It's a Texas supergroup.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're going to make any other songs or music, but they just dropped an enormous song. And I'm going to let y'all listen to it. So basically, here's the members of this one. Josh Abbott. Randy Rogers.
Hello.
Pat Green. Aaron Watson. Kevin Fowler. Casey Donahew. Rodney Crowell.
Okay, this is a
all
supergroup.
Together.
That's a supergroup.
That's a supergroup. So you may recall that in July of 93, a band called Little Texas released a song called God Bless Texas.
Yes.
Well, we now have this supergroup. I don't even think they have a name yet. But like,
well, then
they're all together.
Does it count? You gotta have a name.
I don't know if they're doing a group thing or this was just a one-off. But regardless, they re-recorded God Bless Texas, and it dropped in the middle of July, taking the internet by storm. And I'm about to play it for all of y'all. So here is God Bless Texas by the Texas Monster Super.
They need a name.
They need a name.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
I've been around the world. I've seen some pretty faces, been with some beautiful girls. After all I witnessed, one thing still amazes me. Just like a miracle, you have to see to believe. God bless Texas with his own hand, brought down angels from the promised land and gave them a place where they could dance. If you want to see heaven, brother, here's your chance. I've been sent to spread the message. God bless Texas.
Love it.
All right, what do we think?
I love old 90s country. I grew up listening to all these songs.
Sure.
And it's a good song. So it's cool to hear somebody
They did a pretty straight cover of it.
It is exactly the way the original one was.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I like it.
It's fun.
I like it.
It's fun. If you look at the cover art, they put all their heads on El Capitan. Out at Guadalupe Peak. So El Capitan, the big rock formation, as if it's the Mount Rushmore of Texas.
Exactly.
So it's pretty funny. Like I think they did a good job. I want to see what they do next.
Yeah.
The most fun part of listening to it is like, is that Aaron Watson?
That's what I was asking. Who's that one? Rodney
Crowell? Like which one's that? And some of them have really recognizable voices that are easy, but some others are like, wait, that's kind of There is, I could not find a video of it. It looks like it's just a recording. I want to see a video where I see him singing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there you go, guys. Go look it up. God Bless Texas, the new version. Gosh, 93. This is the 30-year anniversary. That song's 30 years old.
Gosh.
I guess that's why they did it.
Maybe so.
Man. All right, let's move on. Questions from the backseat.
Are we there yet?
Hey, can you pass me the snacks?
When are we going to stop? I gotta go.
All right, bear with me, Daniel. This one's a little long, but it's got a good payoff. Dear Mr. Garner, my wife and I are retired. We spend a lot of time watching PBS. For several years now, we've caught your show. It's been amazing to watch your crew travel Texas, eat barbecue. As they say, Texas is as big as it... I guess Texas is as big as it truly is. They say it is.
Okay.
Sorry, I butchered that, but you get the idea. You've done such a good job selling the barbecue that my wife has become enamored with the idea of traveling to Texas to visit and eat a lot of barbecue. So,
where are they from?
They are from Maryland.
All right.
Yep. And so, and just inspired after listening to her mention barbecue so many times, I wrote a song about it.
Wait, what?
Something I do for fun to stay out of trouble since I'm retired. You're going to get a kick out of it, but I can say that the song was inspired by my wife's zeal in watching your show. And then he's got a question at the end. But let's pause now and hear the song sent in by Gary Gum of Laurel, Maryland. All right, you'll love it.
Seems like a good time in life to get out and do some traveling. Set out to see the sights, though our world's unraveling. We both like to learn things while eating well. With places to go, our hunger we cannot quell. Places seen on the TV, make a list near and far. Like maybe somewhere in Texas, Chunk wants to eat their barbecue.
Chunk the name of his wife.
Baby back ribs and the brisket, saucy smoke, very messy, wonders what to do.
Squeeze it all in. I love it.
Has never worn a feeding bib, used chopsticks and choose one or two. Kimchi and rice were the norm.
Kimchi and rice were the
But
norm.
anywhere in Texas, using your fingers isn't form.
Oh, that's great.
He's got another
That's great.
minute and a half of this thing.
Oh my gosh, he wrote the whole thing.
Yeah, he wrote the whole thing. Inspired by Lukenbach, Texas.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. If you've
That's
ever written
great.
a song about the Daytripper, send it in. But here we go. Here's this question. The real reason I'm writing is because we also travel, usually to Europe, but we just finished your Longview episode, and my wife is now interested once again in traveling to Texas for barbecue. So my question is this. Where's the first place we should go in case it is a long time before we come back and get a second trip to Texas? So we had a similar question last time. If you made one trip to Texas, where would you go? This one is specifically barbecue.
Specifically barbecue.
Barbecue.
Because last time it was like, I want to do as much in Texas.
Yeah, I got a
we
week
said
in
San
Texas.
Antonio is like a central hub.
So the question is this. If I'm going to come to barbecue once to eat barbecue, the question is this. If I'm going to come to Texas once to eat barbecue, what's the one place I visit in case I never get a second?
My goodness.
That's a tough one.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
I mean, golly. Okay, just quickly spitting some stuff out, I would say Lockhart is a great place to go with options.
True.
You've got lots of history. You've got several options, and people know Lockhart as like a barbecue capital.
Yep.
Now, I'm a little biased in that not too far down the road, I can go to Louis Mueller. And I think Louis Mueller is a staple in the barbecue world, community, everything. A lot of what we know from as Texas barbecue today, I feel like came from
Louis. Yeah. And Wayne has done a fantastic job keeping up with the modern trend. Like barbecue has gotten better.
Yeah.
Barbecue has gotten better, and there's a lot of those old joints that are like, we don't care. We're doing it the same way we've done it for 75 years. And I can respect that. But Wayne, you hit the nail on the head. I think it's Louis Mueller barbecue.
That's what you would say too?
Yeah, I think so. Because you get the history, over 70 years of barbecue or something like that.
Yeah.
You get... you get like the feel, the nostalgia. Used to be a meat market, grocery store. Then you get this incredible barbecue experience. I mean, that's where you start.
I mean, you can start by licking the wall.
Yeah,
it's going to be like, okay, this is a good appetizer. It tastes great.
Yep.
Yeah, I could go on this all day, but solid answer.
I think that's it. You start there, then maybe you cruise down and go to the old original South Side. And then just keep cruising. Maybe you come into Austin and do some Brothertons, Franklin, Terry Black, Valentina's, whatever, and then you swing back out to Lockhart and Luling City Market. That raises the question, if you were going to go on a barbecue road trip, how many barbecue joints could you eat at in one day before you just exploded and gave up?
Man. I think the question that would go along with that is, do you know how to pace yourself with barbecue?
That is like kind of one and the same. So like, but you want to try and eat as much as you can.
We did 3 in a day at Taylor.
We've done 3 in a day
for a shoot. And I remember being like, oh,
no more.
You get the meat sweats. After a while.
So, but if you didn't have to film a show, anything, how many could you do in a day?
3's pushing it.
3?
But again,
don't aim so low, Daniel.
Oh my goodness. Okay, but it's hard for me to sit there and go, okay, that tastes amazing. I don't want to have any more because I got to go somewhere else next.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, you know me, like, and I'm all about meat. The sides are okay, but especially if I'm on keto or something, I'll be like, you'll go, okay, what do y'all want to eat? And I'll go, I'll take a pound of brisket and 2 links of sausage, and you're just like, wait, are we sharing this or is that for you?
It's usually for you.
I know. I'm like, gotta sit here and eat some brisket.
If I were real focused, I could hit 6.
6 in one day?
But to your point, you got to pace yourself. So I go to the first one, and I know, like, I'm going to get, like, however little brisket, like a 1/4 pound or less of brisket, half a sausage link, a pork rib. If they'll sell it to me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pace myself. No white bread.
No.
Maybe just a bite or two of sides to cut the fat a little bit in your mouth.
Okay.
But that's it.
I think what would make that work the best is if you had like a bus tour. And so you didn't have to do it. It's just kind of like, I'm just going to ride. And then whenever I get there, put a little bit in front of me, eat it, get on the bus.
Yeah. We used to do those. I'm trying to think how many we had in a day. I think the most we ever had was 3, maybe 4.
I think it was,
in those bus tours. So, anyway.
Yeah.
That is a random question. Not a viewer question, although it would have been a good viewer question. All right, this comes from Paula McCullough. What's the best cave in Texas for spelunking? Favorite cave?
For actual spelunking, or is she saying spelunking like just
I think just means like go underground.
Yeah, day trip.
Yeah.
I'm always a fan of Bernie and Cave Without a Name. So pretty. It's not the biggest one, but Cave Without a Name and Bernie is also very family friendly. They actually paved it inside, or not really paved, but it's got a very good,
it's accessible. You're not getting down and crawling on your hands and knees.
Because like right here in Georgetown, close to our office, Interspace, and that one, it's a long ramp to get down. Some people probably couldn't do it easily.
That's true.
But great cave.
Yeah.
Love that one. It's huge.
Interspace is great. And then I'm going to throw out Natural Bridge. Natural Bridge has the most stunning, like, beautiful panorama type shots.
Oh, yeah.
So, man, there's a lot. Texas is spoiled in the cave world.
We really are.
For sure. All right. Last question. This comes from Leanne Fuller. Where did the word Texas come from, and what does it mean?
The word Tejas.
Tejas? So, yeah, if we back it up, that's a Spanish word.
Spanish word.
Where
meaning
did that come from?
The Tejas. El Tejas. No, I don't know. I do, but I can't remember.
I do know this one. So you're right. The word Texas comes from the Spanish word Tejas, but that actually comes from a Native American Caddo Indian word, Teisha, which meant friend or ally.
Hey.
So that's where it comes from. When the Europeans made the first contact with the Caddo Indians, they were friendly.
Yeah.
And so they used this word Teisha to mean friend. And then that became Tejas, Texas. And of course, the Caddo Indians had an enormous empire that was all up in East Texas, Northeast Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, massive empire.
So basically, they were here very friendly, and we came and destroyed them.
Yeah. I gave them our smallpox and all that stuff.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
The part of history that you don't want to learn about.
I mean, we probably weren't the best friends.
I don't think we were good friends or allies.
No. Nope. Okay, well, thanks for the question. Hey, guys, I know. What a downer, Daniel.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. It's true, though. It's true. If you want to send in questions, podcast@thedaytripper.com or contact@thedaytripper.com. We love questions. All right, so let's get into some other fan rants and musings. So not so much questions, but these things are fun.
Hey, Daytripper, I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, my goodness, it's the Daytripper. We love your show.
All right. Dan Donovan, this was fun. He's watching us from New England, which I like the ones outside of the state. He's like, hey, thanks for putting it on YouTube. YouTube expands your audience to those of us who aren't fortunate enough to live in the Lone Star State yet.
Hey.
He's planning on moving. Thanks for letting this New Englander get a regular fix of Texas. You're very welcome, Dan. Are we responsible for causing all these people moving to Texas? I mean, is that our job?
Telling people, oh my gosh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Daniel, we
shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. Shut it down.
Hey, I love New England. You got that clam chowder.
Oh,
you got the Patriots, the lobster,
the Wahlbergs. I love the Wahlbergs.
Get some Wahlburger.
Yeah.
Park the car, get some
Dunkin',
coffee.
Get some of that Dunkin' coffee. Oh, I love it so much.
That's cool. No, I think a lot of people are fascinated with Texas. That doesn't mean they're going to come here permanently.
This is true.
But
hey,
what can you do?
No, what can you do?
When something's
Texas is
amazing,
awesome.
you
People
talk
want to
about
live. People want to live somewhere awesome. Okay, here this comes from Renee Kelly. She's got a beef with us. I live in Dallas and Lakewood for most of my life and have never referred to the part of Texas you featured as north side of Dallas. So, like, we did an episode, Dallas North Side, and it was basically SMU and around that area, north of downtown.
Bush Library.
And we are getting reprimanded. She said, maybe a long time, way back in the day, but we've grown. There's a lot of Dallas a lot further, quote, north than SMU and Highland Park. I grew up near White Rock Lake. That's East Dallas. I love what you do, but get your areas of Dallas right. Wah, wah. We got reprimanded. That's a virtual wrist slap.
Yeah. Did you know what? Did you decide that?
I did, but I thought about it quite a bit. But you get North Dallas is technically like Richardson.
Yeah, it becomes different cities.
Yeah. All of it. So it's really weird to know where it stops. And these things change over time, right? So I would call Burnett Road North Austin. But to people who are new to Austin, that's Central Austin. But to me, Central Austin is downtown, and that's it. And UT maybe. But after that, you north of 45th, you're in North Austin. But that's an old-timer thing.
Hey, for me, if you're on south side of the river, you're in South Austin.
Yeah,
not anymore, though.
Yeah, no, you got to be past Ben White, which was deep south.
Yeah, anytime somebody's like, oh, yeah, I'm off Slaughter, I'm like, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I'm not going to see you down there. You're in North San Antonio.
That's a different area.
Uh-huh. So, sorry, Renee.
Yeah. These regions get kind of strange.
These regions get weird, and we needed a way to differentiate it from the last episode. So, it became
that kind of happened, too, with our viewer's choice, because we had to
We needed a north, south, east, west bracket.
Yeah. So are they technically, they're not all in
Temple
in
North Texas? No. Not at all. It's in Central Texas. But we needed a north, south, east, west.
We wanted 4 regions.
Yeah.
We had 16 teams, 4 regions. Yeah.
It made it simpler.
These things, they do happen.
These things. All right, here's a fun one. And I actually had to do some research for this one. Hey, sorry, but you missed the record high temperature in Texas.
I'm sure
So if you look up highest temperature ever recorded in Texas, you get 120 degrees.
And that was Monahans?
And Monahans in one, and then a town in North Texas in another. And so that
was North Texas.
I mean, like Wichita Falls area. And so those are the two that are always there.
Yeah.
But he goes, the highest temperature ever recorded was actually 140 degrees. 140. And so I was like, bro, I don't
Fact
know.
check.
So it was in Cupperell, Texas, near Lake Whitney, in an incident called Satan's Storm, when the people actually thought the world was ending. So I looked it up.
When was it?
1960. So I looked this up. This is true.
Okay.
There was a storm, a heat storm, that caused a strange natural phenomenon that drove the temperature to 140 degrees for about 4 hours.
Was it like on a parking lot?
In Lake Whitney. No. So, okay, I had to do some research. All right, this came from Billy Truelove. So thanks, Billy, because you're educating me. June 15th, 1960, middle of the night, a powerful storm encountered rapid de-amplification because of a collision with drier air aloft. So I tried to understand this and I couldn't because I'm not a weatherman. But evidently, there's some moisture that's supposed to cool down the air, but the air was so hot it evaporated, drove the temperature even higher and denser. And so this giant column of air comes down and crashes into the earth.
Okay.
Like, imagine like God decided to turn on a blow dryer and point it directly at Cupperell, Texas.
Wow.
So this huge column of air crashes into the earth, and the temperature spikes. And this comes from a KXAN article. The temperature spiked, the dew point plummeted, and boiling winds howled. Townspeople sprung from their beds, gasping in the sweltering heat. Panicking, they wrapped their children in wet towels and wet bed sheets. It was so fiery hot, people thought it was the end of the world, and it stayed that way for 4 hours.
Oh, my
Crops
goodness.
withered, corn cooked on its stalks. Outside leaves were shriveled up like they'd been baked from the inside out. A farmer reported that 140 acres of his cotton burned to a state of complete crispiness. It said that automobile radiators just reached boiling point just on their own.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy? So this is documented. Wow. This actually happened. Now,
why doesn't that make the records?
I don't know, because it wasn't a sustained temperature. It was like this weird phenomenon that happened, and it was over as fast as it started.
So you put a little asterisk next to it, but
it was reported.
It happened.
140 degrees.
I can't imagine. Oh, I don't want to imagine.
I'm never complaining about the heat ever again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You're just asking for a de-amplification to happen right on your face.
De-amplification.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
learn something new every day.
Learn something new.
The more you know.
Check it out. It's called Satan's Storm. Happened in Copperell, Texas, up by Hillsboro, Lake Whitney area. All right, guys. Well, that concludes our podcast this month. Thank you all for listening. Another shout out to the Collin County History Museum. Y'all go and check out the Created in Collin County exhibit. All kinds of cool stuff up there. It's a great museum if you find yourself in McKinney. I mean, McKinney's got a great square. Just go up there, eat a bunch of stuff, have some ice cream, go learn something. Daniel and I just learned something.
Lots to do.
And remember, like, subscribe, etc., all the things with our podcast. Shout out to Alex Fort over on the Mixmaster Tables producing this. And Daniel, after you.
Goodbye, everybody.
And vaya con Dios, amigos.